In the 1950s and 60s, over 28.4 million people immigrated to the United States. These people came from all over the world after World War II, striving for a better life. The two main areas of immigration that we are going to be focusing on in this documentary will be Greece and Cuba. As we hear the personal stories of how some of our family members got to America, we will compare both experiences and see if whether immigrating from two different locations to America had any similarities. Leading up to the 1950s, Greece was undergoing an economic and political downfall, dealing with both the consequences of the Civil War in 1946 and 1949 and the period of military junta rule that followed in 1967 to 1974. Many Greek citizens could not take what was going on any longer and decided to flee for their own safety.
I came to the United States 1951 by boat from Argos, Greece. Because of World War II was breaking everything down it and we don't have anything to eat. 5 years we eat greens every day. Germans came to country in 1941 and started, bombing the cities, destroy everything. I come to the United States by my uncles fix the papers for me and come in with a boat, taking me by 17 days by boat, come out to New York. From New York, I take train to Oklahoma, Tulsa. Well, say if you live in your country, you don't know nothing about the other country you go. And I speak English, but I come in working. I don't got any special job, but maybe I can work in a farm, something like that. Right. I have a good woman in Texas, and I used to live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I come to Texas get married 1955, September 11. I miss my family. I don't get my friends, but I miss my family, and I support my family at the time. I write letters every week to my mother and father and send money to support. I live in here in the United States for 65 years and I don't go back to Greece because I got my family, my grandkids and everybody else. And I have 65 years in the United States, my country.
By around 1959, after the Cuban Revolution, led by Fidel Castro, one of the strongest communist powers, Cuba started to go downhill. With Fidel overthrowing the Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista and the revolution, Castro was now the country's new leader. This led to the imprisonment of any citizen who opposed him and ruined the economy, which then led to the many waves of immigrants from Cuba to the U.S.
I came to the United States from Cuba. Both I flew from Cuba to Jamaica, Jamaica to Miami in 1961.
And I followed him in the same year, in August of the same year.
I came to America for safety reason because Cuba was taken for the communists. I don't feel safe over there anymore. So I came over here for that reason.
Okay, then other things that we left Cuba was because in Luis's case, he had a good job and he worked for a company that sell automobile parts. Then the owner left Cuba. Then Luis was in charge of the business. The government took over the business, and all of this question was asking. And then he was given times, if you don't answer this by that day, we will take actions against you. Then by then, anybody that don't like the government or they have anything to do with the past government, or the actual government feel threat for any reason, you will go to jail, and then you could be executed without being going to a trial or anything like that. You could be today you could be free, and tomorrow you could be dead. Then in that kind of a fear, he decided to leave the country, and then because he don't know what happens to him if he don't have the answers that the government expected for him to have. Then the same thing that happens to him, it happens to a lot of other people. The threat that you have saved and your life, if the government don't like you for whatever reason, you could be, like I said, alive today and dead tomorrow. Then that's how everybody started living. Now nobody feels safe. The communism was taken over. Everything had to do with the government. They was taking over the business. They was taking over the properties of the people. Then no freedom, and persecution everywhere you go. Okay, in that time, even if it was easy to come out because people can leave the island freely as long as you have your passport and a plane ticket, it became quite difficult because a lot of people was leaving at the same time. Then it was long lines in the airports and the plane was full for a long, long time. Then it was hard to get out of there. And most of us have to leave, that's why we have to leave through Havana and going to Jamaica. And then Jamaica asked permission to the U.S. government to come into the United States. Then it took, it took us, for him it took about a month, and for me it took about 19 days. It was quite difficult when we arrived to Miami, because when I came, he was living in a guest house, and no jobs available. Uh, a lot of people came at the same time. A lot of Cubans came at the same time. Um, Miami was a tourist town that only was hotels and restaurants and things like that. No places that people can work. Then everybody was looking for jobs at the same time. Then it was quite difficult. The government gave us a little help, but not enough for to live, a month and have enough to eat. And then for the same reason, we went sometimes that we only went through 1 meal a day, and until finally, after I came about a month later, um, Luis, your grandfather, found a job in a restaurant, washing dishes and clean the floors. But we felt very fortunate because finally we had a job. Then from there on, little by little, life started getting better until we decided to leave Miami because, like I said before, it was a lot of Cubans came in at the same time. No jobs available, and and the range was getting higher, and it was very difficult to get ahead. Then we made the decision to leave Miami, and that we went to the Cuban Refugee Center. They was doing trips to different part of the country. They was getting group of people, uh, you know, helping through the churches to go to different states and different cities, and then we came. That's how we came to Fort Worth.
Well, the most thing I'm missing when I left Cuba was my family, my good friend, and the whole country because that was a beautiful country and real hard to live. But I'm here now in the US, which I'm real happy, thanks to the Lord.
Yes, the same thing. I miss my family because we always thought that we was going to be able to be back soon. Then the months start passing, and then more and more things you miss. The language, the costumes, your food. Because right now you can find Cuban food everywhere, but by then you just cannot even find coffee. You know. Cuban coffee, then there was a lot of things to miss when you leave your country, especially when you leave because you have to, not because you want to. Then now, after 52 years, we was reunited with our family. Little by little, Luis got all his family in, his sister. You know, he got three sisters and one brother. His parents, they all came. And I brought my mother and my sister, and she have with her family. Then finally we got together, all of us, and we formed a family of our own, our children, grandchildren, and then after 52 years, this and all of the hardship, then we, looking back, it wasn't that bad, because you have the freedom to be where you wanted to be, and you don't feel persecuted, and you feel that, everything you do, uh, you know, is worth it. And then and we have our family and our children growing up in a free country. They have educated. Then looking back, everything that whatever hardship we went through, it was worth it because we have a good life, and we're very grateful. I'm very to this country and to the people of America for giving us the opportunity to start a new life and have a good life for ourselves, and especially a good life for our children and our grandchildren.
As we heard two personal stories of the process of immigrating to America, you can see how many similarities there are. Both wanted to come to America for a better life for themselves and their families, and left due to a downfall in both their country's government and economy. Now, after being in America for so many years, they both couldn't imagine being anywhere else but here.
Okay. You got stuff?
To the United States for reason.
Safety reasons.
Hmm?
Safety reasons.
Yeah. Hmm?
Safety reasons. Imagínate, sordo también. Ay, Dios mío.